people not only have to be re-educated to the importance of supporting black business, but the black man himself has to be made aware of the importance of going into business. And once you and I go into business, we own and operate at least the businesses in our community. What we will be doing is developing a situation wherein we will actually be able to create employment for the people in the community. And once you can create some employment in the community where you live, it will eliminate the necessity of you and me having to act ignorantly and disgracefully, boycotting and picketing someplace else, trying to beg him for a job.
Today's episode is brought to you by the Federation of African Canadian Economics. FACE is an historical movement co-founded by Black Canadian visionaries empowering generational wealth creation while fostering Black change makers. If you are Black entrepreneurs or know one or care for one that could use an affordable loan of up to $250,000, www.facecoalition.com. And more importantly, we're in the beautiful space and city of Toronto at Mr. Delicious Fine Cuisine. And we are today with the BBPA. If you're looking to join the Bates movement, make sure you check www.bbpa.org and register to be ready to get faceable, like they say. I would like to welcome all our listeners to TOC Podcast. TOC stands for The Other Canada Podcast, the show that is anchored in the undeniable fact that Canada's historical and current lens is homogenous at best and filled with gaps that we aim to bridge. The space where we courageously explore BIPOC voices like you've never heard them before. At TOC Podcast, we pride ourselves in presenting to you Black, Brown, Indigenous, and non-BIPOC individuals, yes, they exist, white folks that decided to move from allies to accomplices. Today's episode is about Black woman in position of power number 2.
Yeah, part 2.
We're talking about the impact of the Black woman in our community and the pillars that they are. I am Thierry Lindor, your host. Some of you might know me as an entrepreneur, an active citizen, but that pales in comparison to today's guest. We have the tremendous, the firestorm, the divine queen, Nadine Spencer with us, and my co-host, Queen Tiffany Calendar in his house. All right. You're going to learn today. Now, next up, what you want to do is if you're driving, you park your car. If you're at the gym, put down those weights. And if you're working, act like you are. Bring up the volume. We're disrupting the status quo in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hey-oh.
Africa wasn't afforded some of the same services.
Rosie, a Sir George graduate on a master's in McGill, helps organize a computer-centered city.
I can announce that the Government of Canada, in partnership with Canadian banks, is investing nearly $221 million to launch Canada's first ever Black entrepreneurship program.
Nadine Spencer, how you doing?
Awesome, Thierry. How are you?
I'm blessed, black, highly favored.
So
Tiffany.
you know, I had to crash the episode. I know.
Another one.
I crashed another one. I'm going to keep doing it. I had to be here with Nadine Spencer.
This is a good pairing.
This
is a great pairing.
Oh, yes.
That's it. But last week's episode would have never been as special as it was without you. Yeah. We had the amazing Alternative Savings. Susan Henry was with us last week, and she brought down the house.
That's it. There was no way that Nadine Spencer, president of the BBPA, CEO of BrandEQ, that a whole me was not going to be on this. No, it wasn't happening.
They say in Rome, you do as the Romans do. In Toronto, you do as Nadine does.
Correct.
And we've been hosted greatly.
You've gotten the memo.
Come on,
we got the memo.
Come on,
we saw the list on Instagram. We're following.
Awesome.
We're not flying out until we get this interview
My
done.
brand is speaking for itself.
That's exactly it.
That's it.
So we're gonna go like every other guest, 6 questions in 60 seconds. Nadine, you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, Queen Spencer. What has this pandemic taught you?
Patience.
Ooh, love it. Malcolm X or MLK?
MLK.
Angela Davis or Maya Angelou?
Maya Angelou.
All right. Salty or sweet?
Sweet.
Reggae or hip hop?
Reggae man.
Yes. What is your cultural background?
Jamaican.
Jamaica.
Kingston 6.
Yes. I love this part because I always hear amazing answers across the country. What is the most challenging part about being a black woman in 2021?
The most challenging.
You could expand on that. You don't have to keep it short.
Very interesting question. The most challenging thing, I think, is the numerous opportunities that's presented to us. And why do I say that's challenging? Challenging because maybe some of us are not ready. And we have to prepare ourselves. So while there's a plethora of opportunities, the readiness is challenging.
Love that.
And we have to remedy that.
I love that. What is the best part about being a black woman in 2021?
All the opportunities.
Hey.
Same answer. We're invited to so many tables.
Yeah.
There's numerous doors opening for us to go through. That's a wonderful thing.
That's it. Nadine Spencer, we know you as a serial entrepreneur, successful entrepreneur, a black leader, literally in the Toronto and Canadian ecosystem. You are the founder of a company. I will let you break it down because I love what you guys do at BrandEQ, but you also have another now segment to your company. So I'll let you break down what is it that you do at your company on an entrepreneurship, and then we'll explore the nonprofit side as well.
So at BrandEQ, we amplify our clients' voices to their respective audiences.
That's it.
We have a concept, it's called People Matter. And what People Matter means is that we do not do anything without thinking of who are we speaking to? So while we're marketing to millions, we're speaking to one. Because we recognize that in order to touch millions, you really have to hone your message to one individual. I have to speak to you, Thierry, I have to speak to you, Tiffany, in order to make a difference and get an emotional response from you.
So good, so good. Correct me if I'm wrong also, but in recent times, you started a subsidiary to your company. Can you touch on
Absolutely.
that as well?
It's called BrandEQ Black.
That's it.
And we created BrandEQ Black because we recognize in the Marcom world, the marketing advertising world, that black voices are not represented. Black images are not represented in campaigns. So when you see things like the H&M campaign and the Gucci blackface campaign, it is because someone like me or you is not at that table to say, hey,
hold on a second.
That's not okay.
And can you break down for our audience what do you mean by the H&M? For those of you who don't know, what happened with the H&M? What did they do?
Yes. So for the H&M campaign, they had a little black boy in a green hoodie, and it said "Best Monkey in the Zoo."
Yep.
That's just not appropriate. It's
That's
not acceptable,
not appropriate.
and it's not culturally representative either.
Exactly.
So that's some of the work we do, and we do training around that. We go into corporate Canada and corporate America. We're actually on our way to NBC next week
There you
to
go.
have a conversation about race in the media industry.
That's it.
And so we have to be represented. We have to be represented, and that's what BrandEQ Black does.
Amazing.
Did you? Go ahead. No, I wanted to say that it's just incredible to me that we at this stage, I can hear a black woman talking about going into corporate Canada and saying, that's not okay.
Demanding.
It's interesting because it's often as though people assume who we are despite using our experts who can tell you. Your expertise is not just the fact that you are a branding genius and have created this powerhouse of a company, but your lens tells you that and through your experience. I want to touch on Nadine Spencer, the person. I've had the fortunate opportunity to have conversations with you over a year. I'm gushing now, right? But also with your Boss Woman program, we're going to go into the nonprofit, but I got invited to Nadine, and I got to hear her speak about her story and how she became the Nadine we know today. I refuse to let this episode go by without you telling us about that little girl and how she became the woman.
Tell us the
Nadine
background.
Spencer.
I want to hear it too.
Yeah, so there's a bigger reason why I champion entrepreneurship, especially for black women. My mother in 1978 moved to Canada as new immigrants do, for a better life and better opportunity. And she couldn't bring her children with her. So I was left in Jamaica with her friend.
Wow.
Yeah, I was 12 years old. I was left in Jamaica with her friend. And the woman that she left me with to take care of me didn't really do that. She took me out of school to just run errands. And one of the errands she had me do was to go to Spanish Town Market in Kingston to buy these cakes for her, right? So she sends me to buy these cakes. And in one of the first trips, she sends me with no money to come back or money to eat.
That's right.
For my lunch. None of that. So I had to figure out, how am I going to get home? I'm going to have to walk home. But when I got to the market, I walked around and I looked at all the vendors. And I thought about how could I create an opportunity for myself in this space.
That's a great story.
And I went to one vendor and I made a deal with her. I bought 10 cakes for the price. I bought 12 cakes for the price of 10.
Yeah.
And then I bought parchment paper. And then I went to another place in the market and I sold it.
That's right.
I sold
Amazing
it. And I made a profit.
story.
Yeah.
I made a profit. And I'll never forget the first time the 2 10-cent coin hit my little hand. I felt freedom, I felt accomplishment,
Amazing.
I felt liberation, and I felt possibility for my future in that tiny little opportunity. And so that's why I champion entrepreneurship for women, because even if you do not have formal education, and you can go in and cook like this hot sauce,
Okay.
and you can package it and you can sell it and make a profit and enable your future, it is a win-win. And so our Boss Women program, what I want to do is take that further.
That's right.
How do we formalize their businesses?
Yeah.
How do we help them with all the resources, the networks and the opportunities they need? And that's why I said that we're in a time of opportunities for Black women.
100%.
We really are. But the challenge is that if we're not formalized, if our business is not formalized, we don't have the resources, we don't have the networks, we cannot maximize these opportunities. And so that hence my answer in the beginning.
And I love this
Told you.
lore, this story, because I did not know.
Yeah.
B, it is how to make the best out of not a lot, right? It is turning, and that's what Black folks do.
It's innovation.
That's what we do.
We innovate
That's what we do.
regardless of the situation. We are resilient, we're innovative in the way we are, the spirit that we are. You touched on this beautiful, you said just like this amazing cook. I see here, Nick, you're going to capture this for me. Nettie's not joke. Hot pepper
Nah,
sauce.
joke. You have to bring it. Nah, joke.
Terry.
Not joke. So break that down. This is a local. Shout out to Nettie's. Local entrepreneur.
She's one of our boss women.
Yep.
And I remember the first session we had, I said, women, show us your stuff.
Yep.
And they didn't have it. You know, because you always have to be ready with your product. In the
right.
world of
Elevator
marketing
pitch,
and creative,
come on
you
now.
have to be ready. So the next time I said, show us your stuff. And then she had her stuff ready. And she had her sauce ready. And she created the sauce, you know, and it non-joke really. And
Listen, Nettie walked up to me at the end of a presentation we just did. She said, I want to give you this. And I said, I got hot sauce in my bag swag now.
Wow.
I have Nettie's hot sauce. And I love the way she walked through. She's like, it's for you. And my number's on the back. I was like, all right.
Yes,
That's it.
yes.
And that confidence.
Yes. Yeah.
And
it's
a
your
shirt,
calling
not
card,
joke.
right? What a better calling card than that?
Of course.
Right?
Of course.
Yeah. And so through the program, we are working with Nettie to do her business plan. She's one of our BADEs, the Business Advisor Implementation Development participants.
I want to hear that too.
And we're going to be working with Nettie to do her business plan for her to take her sauce to the next level.
That's it.
So talk to us about BBPA, because we're really
That's
talking.
it.
Boss Women is just one component.
One facet.
I got the opportunity to speak with them online and live while I was on this tour. Tell us about the BBPA. You are the president now. It's your fourth year as president.
Fourth year as president.
It is
Fourth year as
flying
president.
high.
Amazing work, amazing team. I've gotten the chance to meet them. Tell us about BBPA and your vision of how you're going to help entrepreneurs in Ontario.
Absolutely. So I became the president 4 years ago. I received the BBPA Harry Drum Awards. It's what we do to recognize excellence in the Black community.
Yep.
And I was the business recipient in 2016.
Yes.
So I still see myself as that 12-year-old girl, and here am I getting the BBPA Harry Drum Awards right, in 2016. But what I recognized when I got to the event, there was no media there. No one was there to tell the story of these awesome 20 Black individuals in different industries that had gotten the award that year. And I recognized something, that when Black people are doing great things, nobody wants to hear that. Nobody shows up.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to hear that. And so I did the PR for a year and started to really shift the paradigm, right? And talking about the story about awesome Black individuals across the country our accomplishments. And then when they asked me to serve, I accepted. Because again, entrepreneurship, I know, is going to drive the future of Black people, not just in this country, but globally.
Pull up. Rewind. Say it again. That last gem.
Entrepreneurship is going to drive Black businesses globally.
That's it.
Globally.
That's it.
Globally.
And you know what I'm hearing also from you, as an active citizen, as a melanin-powered queen, leading an entire, let's call it the economic capital of Canada, and arguably one of the top 3 cities in the Western Hemisphere.
Yeah.
What is the importance of this role to you? The title of this is Black Women in Positions of Power. And with powers comes great responsibility. How much do you see this position? Obviously, you take it seriously and you have a vision for it, but how important is it for you to succeed? Because you have a daughter who's also a super successful entrepreneur.
And a grandbaby.
Yeah,
a granddaughter.
beautiful
Granddaughter.
granddaughter. So how important is it to you, not just to take that role, but to take it to the next level, to spring it into something better than what you found it. You already did that in less than 4 weeks. Well, I didn't know BBPA before, but to me, I know them now.
Yes.
So
Very
something must
well
have been
and
done
intimately.
well.
That's right.
So how serious how important is that role that you occupy in this position of power right
Very
now?
important. That's why I don't sleep.
Hey.
You know, our treasurer Michael Pinocchio.
That's why I don't sleep.
Oh, I don't sleep.
He says black people, we can't die in our sleep like everybody else. We have to die fighting.
Hey.
Talk about Martin Luther King.
Sorry,
with the gems. Go ahead.
As black entrepreneurs, we can't die in our sleep. We have to die fighting. We have to die fighting for a future, for ourselves, for our community, for our children, a legacy. When we talk about generational wealth, it's not now, it's 40 years, it's 100 years, it's 400 years from now. And the seeds are started right in this moment, right in this moment. And so where I start is that I have to be the example. I have to walk the talk first.
That's it.
We have to walk the talk first.
Well said.
You know, we have to set the standard of excellence.
Correct.
We have to set the behaviors. We have to set the expectations. The expectations.
That's a big one.
And how do we do that? We have to be it first.
That's it.
Right? And so as we have individuals and other business people model and we mirror for them, right? We set the standard. Then they can be it. You know, for my daughter, she can't be a great entrepreneur as she is if she didn't see me doing that. You can't be what you can't see.
That's so true.
Yeah. So the vision I have for the BBPA is huge, huge. You know, my mother said, Nadine, I don't know what God's going to do with you because your vision is so big that even God's not going to be able to like manage all the things you want. But what I want is what I want for our community, the advancement of our community. And so what does that vision look like? The partnership we have now with Face is unbelievable. It's amazing. I want to see that 10 times.
Blossom.
10 times blossom.
Yeah.
I want to see opportunities for every single black business that has not had access to capital, network, resources. We have to make that possible for them.
Yep.
So the vision that I have, it's not something that I will accomplish in my lifetime. And we need partners. We need people to do that.
That's right.
But we have to aspire for the top.
That's it.
My father always said, Nadine, you must seek to be primus inter pares. It means first amongst your peers.
Hey.
And when you're heading in that direction, it's because you are setting a standard of excellence that others will emulate and follow.
I love that.
And that's the important thing.
I love that.
That's great.
I
I want you touched on it, the relationship and the dynamic between FACE and the BBPA and the other organizations that really locked arms to move this thing forward.
Yes.
Nadine and I have not known each other but only a year and some
But
change.
we're so kindred sisters.
Right? So,
absolutely.
And I want to talk about that because when we talk about powerful women, we have to talk about the dynamics in which powerful women work together.
Correct.
Yes.
If I can ask you a question,
Yep.
Queen Nadine, what would be your advice to black women when they have the opportunity to work with each other?
Question.
What is the fundamentals in terms of using our power as women together
And I
to
would,
make sure that
I would add to that,
Yeah.
because that's such an amazing question, Tiff. What is the advice you'd give for black women that are powerful to collaborate instead of compete with one another?
Oh.
Because I love
Okay.
what you just touched on, Tiff.
Yes.
Because Face today is what it is. Just so y'all know, co-founders.
Yeah.
Nadine didn't wait to say, show me what you could. Nadine got on the call, met Tiffany for the first time. She said, I'm in. And we'll build it as we go. And then ever since then, it's been a powerful voice for Face to be able to do what it does today. So
That's why I'm
Tiff,
asking
your
that question.
is amazing.
I want to
How
know.
do black women, powerful black women, collab
what
instead of
are
compete?
the ethics or the fundamentals
I
so
love that question.
powerful women or women period can work together?
Yeah.
Ben
We have to recognize that if I'm having a challenge, that you're probably having it too. If I'm afraid, you're probably afraid too. You know?
Yeah.
And we have to put that fear aside and I have to say, hey, Tiff, I'm having a challenge with this.
Yeah.
And let's be human. Let's not be afraid to
Well said.
completely be human in
Vulnerable.
a place of trust. Vulnerable. Absolutely. And then to work in a place of partnership. You know, when I see you up there, Tiffany, it's not you I see. I see me. I see all the other. I see my daughter.
Yeah.
I see all the other awesome black women. So I want you to be there.
That's so good.
I want you to be talking to the Prime Minister. I want you to go to the UN. I want you to do those things because all of us are behind you. You're doing
so
it for
well
all
said.
of us. It's together.
C'est
And if we
tellement bien
come
dit.
from that understanding,
That's so
we
well
don't
said.
need to be competitive.
Yeah.
Because when I'm there, I'm
You're
doing
there.
it for all of us.
Yeah. That's
right.
You're there. And when you're there, I'm there. We are there together.
Oh,
that is the
that's good.
number one thing we have to recognize.
That-
we have to recognize.
Those fundamentals
good.
of sisterhood are so
Yeah.
necessary, and I wanted to make sure that you
so
said
good.
it because in meeting you, Nadine, right? Didn't know you before or anything else.
Yeah.
One of the things that I remember the first lesson that you gave me.
Yeah.
There was a meeting
told
that was
me.
happening, and I was busy doing everything else. And at the time, our very wonderful feminist males that we have on our team, they are feminists. I want to say this is by no way saying that the men we work with do not respect and value our opinion. And we sent 3 of our generals forward. And you took me aside after and you said, Tiffany, always make sure you're at the table as a woman, because what you bring to the table, your view of things are different, and you have to be there to make sure that we are represented in what we need. And I was like, woo. Yeah. And I didn't take that as a slight, I didn't take that as criticism. Yeah. I took it as my big sis saying, when you go to these tables, you're carrying my story, so you get there.
Absolutely.
And after that, I haven't missed it.
I remember. Yeah. And not only that, Tiffany, I said it to the men, because what we have to do in our position, I wrote to the men and I said, the very thing that we're fighting against, we have to always be cognizant of the fact that it starts right here. But sometimes we forget.
Yes.
I understand that. I understand that. We're not used to that. But when we get to a table, I have to say, who's not in this room?
Hey.
And I have to open that door and I have to bring them in. That's right. And maybe I have to fight, but we have to do whatever we can to bring us in.
Lesson of my life.
I'm telling you, one day we're gonna write a book or do like an anime.
How we got here?
A drawing,
I swear.
a Pixar movie.
We have to.
But Queen Nadine, I'm gonna tell you something. When it comes to keeping everybody very honest in these meetings,
very straight.
I'm gonna tell you a true story because I think it's worth telling. Queen Nadine was the first one to tell me, Terry, the Bobby platform that you dreamt of, let it be forever stay black and stay Bobby. Because we thought about, hey, what if it's diverse owned businesses? She said, no, it's called Bobby. You keep it Bobby. And Nadine also was the first one to say, we have to, that I've heard say, in a space where there was a lot of power at the table, least we forget that black talent deserves to be paid like any other talent.
Exactly.
And this, Nadine, I have shivers talking about. This, to me, was when I knew that Nadine, it don't matter. She's always going to say it as it is, say it straight. And that, I think, is one of your amazing superpowers. You have many of them.
Thank you.
That is one of them. And I want to thank you for that because it resonated with me when you. And she also is the first one to say, the first CEO has to be a woman. I was like, I second that all day. I don't know how everybody else felt, but we were two feminists.
You're right,
saying
absolutely.
It
we
has
have to call
be,
it for one another.
Yeah.
We really do. But you know, Terry, it's because you operate a business model to a standard of excellence.
Absolutely.
I mean, I'm not going to suggest that for someone who's not performing at a standard of excellence, because at the end of the day, we don't want to be let down, right? When we're walking the talk, we have to walk it in the place of excellence. So, no, this has been an awesome journey working with you guys. It really has been, for me, a privilege.
Oh, me, it's a privilege of my life so far.
I tell you all the time.
And
I would say, Nadine, no joke.
No
I
joke.
forget that Nadine, no joke.
Listen, before we let Nadine go, because the episode, and I could hear people say, no,
Keep
why?
going.
But guess what? We're coming back.
Portion, I'm Montreal.
I'm Montreal. From her. You heard it from her. And Nadine speaks at least 2 or 3 languages. Nadine is talented. Yes. We're going to come back either to Toronto or she's going to come to Montreal. We're going to have a full hour with her because she has too many. But before we let you go, give us the top 3 advice. You're a brand whisperer. You talk that brand language and communication.
I like that.
What are the top 3 advice you would give for any black businesses out there that would need branding advices? Top 3 advice or tips you would give.
Okay. Number 1, the base. Set a foundation, the base of your brand. You know, when you build a house, you build all the infrastructure first. You don't do what I call the pretty, the curtains and the painting.
The finishes.
Until you build the foundation.
That's it.
You have to build the foundation of your brand. What does that look like? Your business plans, all of that. Your brand is what they say about you when you're not in the room.
Correct.
So you have to build the foundation for your brand. So that's number 1. 2, the reputation of your brand. What does that mean? Do you show up on time? Do you cancel a meeting last minute? That's all a part of your brand. That's all a part of your brand. And what we don't recognize is that those little things are a big part of what your brand is. And nobody calculates that. Nobody thinks about how you're going to monetize that, right? And number 3, the design.
Hey.
What do you look like online? When you show up and you've got your great picture online, when you show up in person, what do you look like? Look at Tiffany. She looks just like her brand. She's her brand online.
She told me show up on brand.
That's
and
it.
Frame yourself
That's
in your
it.
Zoom. I'm always I get tips all the time.
Yeah, show up on brand. And then you said 3, but can I give 4?
Go ahead.
Yes.
Give a bonus tip.
So I love the word bankable.
Yeah.
Because, you know, how do you monetize your brand and make it bankable?
Ooh, that's a gem right there.
Especially as black entrepreneurs.
Hey.
We have to do that.
Yeah. Amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, that was a black leader melanin powered queen, Nadine Spencer. If you don't know, check her out on all social media, right, Nadine? Where can we find
Nadine
you?
Spencer on
Miss
all
Nadine
social
Spencer.
media. That's the
Everywhere
one.
everywhere,
Yeah.
LinkedIn, so Instagram, so on and so forth. This is today's episode. I'm glad that you guys enjoyed it. I know you guys did. The tips were on fire. We gave you a bonus one as well. Next week, we're going to be having 2 employees, full-time employees of FACE, ELOs, Entrepreneur Loan Officers from Toronto and Ontario region, Ken Birch, as well as SA. I would like to thank you, listeners. Thank you for your time. Thanks to our special guest, Nadine Spencer.
Thank you, merci.
Merci beaucoup. Merci à toi. Thank you to my co-host, Tiffany Callender. As always, phenomenal. Look out for the next episode, like I said. And you can listen to us on TOC Podcast, on Apple, Spotify, SoundCloud, and subtitle on YouTube. Yes, we're inclusive. And wherever you listen to your favorite podcast, once again, we're brought to you by FACE Coalition. If you're looking for a loan of up to $250,000 or know a black entrepreneur, because you have to be black, all right? Blackity black. If you are looking for that loan, www.facecoalition.com. And this episode also is possible by BBPA. If you're looking to join Bates, www.bbpa.org. Shout out to Nettie's Natural Hot Pepper Sauce. And shout out to King Mr. Delicious, who hosted us today at his spot, Fine Cuisine, the desserts. I know no black bakers in Quebec. I have met the best black baker in Canada. Not Canada, Canada, all right? So I'm your host, Thierry Lindor. It was my honor to be with you today. Make sure once again to join the movement on social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. Until next time, stay blessed, black, and highly favored. And if you're not black, stay on the right side of humanity and not just on the right side of history. Hey!